You know, instead of being grouped with everybody else, how would you say, you know, what makes Julie Dexter? What makes her stand out from the pack?
I think, you know, what makes me Julie Dexter is more so my journey. I think, you know, being born and raised in Birmingham, England, moving to London, then coming to Atlanta, even just within those, you know, moves in terms of place and addresses, just types of music that I've been driven to and drawn to and been influenced by and inspired by, has created what I think is a unique sound. It's like, you know, I'll be the first to say that I'm not, you know, the vocalist like a, you know, like a Mariah, like a Whitney, like a Layla Hathaway, like, you know, these real accomplished vocals. I'm the first to say that, but I do have a voice that, to me, you know, has emphasis on the message and the music and the, you know, the style, feel good factor. It's not necessarily one way. It's just, you can hear that, you know, I'm into jazz, I'm into reggae, I'm into soul, I'm into all these kind of music, but it's still the fact that I've been born and raised in England and have Jamaican parents and moved to Atlanta. That's going to affect sound. You know, you're hearing the more soul and R&B on this new album, New Again, because I've been here 12 years and producers are African Americans, so his musical experience has obviously influenced and inspired me to sing and write the way that I did on this album. You know,
Word.
We need more albums like this, though. As far as like that, I mean, this is why I was such a fan of this project, because of the fact that, you know, you have a producer that's crafting together one piece of work with an artist. Which, to me, if you just backtrack music and history, I mean, Quincy Jones, Michael Jackson, I mean, is a prime example. You know what I'm saying? And I think a lot of great music can be made in that type of form, like how you went across from it. Right. So it's, I mean, that's great. That's great. You know what I also wanted to ask you too, being that you started during the night, you know, I seen that you started during like the early 90s, and you've seen how the music industry's changed as far as from when people will go to the record store and buy that vinyl or buy that tape, and it's gotten to the point now where it's very internet driven. At least in your case, how have you been able to adapt from being in that scenario to now where you're pretty much having to promote heavily online? How has that affected, you know, everything you've been doing as far as, you know, your career?
You know, I think everything, and, you know, especially in terms of technology and, you know, the market in terms of whatever it is you're doing, is always, because it's forever changing. You've got to, it's designed in a way that, you know, you just got to keep, you know, ahead, 2 steps ahead. You've got to keep up on, you know, what's up, how to get up, and not be the last one to know, because by the time you're on that, they already moved on. You know, I mean, you really have to keep up. So this industry, I find, is getting, even in a shorter space of time, changing.
Right.
For example, I remember no email. I could go back further, but just to go back this far, which is not really that far, but I remember no email, no internet, no website.
I remember that too.
Just 10 years ago. That was only 10 years ago, you know?
Like about. Yeah,
but and we would do whatever we were doing, and now I'm having to think, well, how did I do it? I remember I've got all these flashbacks of, I remember doing shows where I'm sitting there. You remember like the postcards you made, and we had people's physical addresses, and we would put the stamps on and sending, you know, these are flyers we were sending out for shows, you know what I mean? Like we used to get flyers on the mail, and just thinking of how long that takes, you know, the day that you send it off and they don't get it till maybe a couple of days later. But my point is it's changed so much that you just got to be with it. Like you can easily get left behind, but by that you're missing a whole opportunity of reaching an audience, and in the sense of being an artist, that's what you're trying to do, expand. Every day you're trying to expand on your audience, find who and where your audience is. If it's 1 in 10 people, 1 in 50 people, 1 in 100, whatever the ratio, your job ideally is to, you know, reach as many people in the world and find out who those people are digging you. So it's in your best interest to be up on it and to have a Twitter, to have a MySpace, to have a, you know, even if you're not active on it every day, have some kind of web presence that at least people type in your name you come up and they can find you, and if it's, I agree to buy your music or come to your shows, that's easy, it's successful for them. So it's been, for me, like, it's almost like a blessing and a curse, because if I'm not on that for about, I don't know, like a week or 2 weeks, I gotta play catch up. I gotta, I gotta update. I gotta look. You know what I mean? Like,
You gotta keep it moving.
She's right.
Yeah, you really do.
So let's talk about the new album on iTunes.
Word.
We were listening to it earlier.
Yeah, I like it.
I mean, as far as this album's concerned, I mean, what's pretty much like we already discussed the production side of things, but as far as the content, I mean, what was pretty much your idea going into this project? As far, did you have anything set in mind, or was this a situation where, you and the producer sat down and it just came about?
I definitely didn't have anything set in mind. It was funny what you're saying about the producer thing, is that at the time, my manager at the time was looking for different tracks, different producers for the next, quote-unquote Julie Dexter album. So this was one of the producers that he had, heard his music, one of his tracks, basically knew again the title track. I was like, I think you might be feeling that. So he had, presented the track to me, and I was feeling it, and then I heard the rest of his stuff. So it was, we were looking for 1 or 2 tracks, but I was like, I want to hear what else you got. I was feeling, that's how much I was feeling it. And then he's just playing me stuff after, just music just for days. Like, I had to choose, which was really hard, actually.
Yeah.
That album could have sounded so many other different ways, because he had such a wealth of music. And just, it was just, for me, very varied. It's like, this is dope. I was feeling it.
Yeah.
Like,
those are always dope studio sessions. Always.
So yeah, that just was very organic. Like I said, we didn't plan that; it just happened that way.
Oh, that's what's up. Yeah, pure artistic inspiration.
Right, exactly.
Yes. Let me ask you another question. What brought you from the UK to here? Now, did you move with your family, or you were like, you know what, I want to pursue music? I'm gonna come. You're gonna come to the States. I mean, how'd you end up here? On the other side of the pond, like they say.
I just basically, at the time, I took the opportunity. I'd been to New York, did a show. Somebody from there was from Atlanta, and was like, you should come to Atlanta. Atlanta's feeling your music. So I ended up coming down here at the time of funk jazz, and Indari was about to blow up, and Donnie and all these people, the scene was bubbling. So I ended up just, coming at a time when I was received, I guess, on a level that was more so than I had at home as a solo artist. So I moved here, and that was it. I just didn't turn back. I didn't plan on coming, but when I got here, 6 months later, I got my music together and was here.
You just answered my question, because I was going to ask you as far as like what the difference was being over there to like being in the scene like in Atlanta, which is like a cesspool of talent, like across the board with all kinds of music.
Cesspool. Wow.
So, well, I mean, maybe that's a wrong choice.
A plethora.
A cornucopia.
A
plethora
bunch
of talent. So yeah, I mean, you pretty much answered my question. I mean, it just seems like it was a different vibe than where you were coming from.
Yeah, definitely a different vibe, and definitely a different direction. Sense of, I've been in a band, a jazz band, for 5, 6 years in total, and wanted as a group, and I wanted to, as a voice, I had stuff that I wanted to say. I had, an urge to do my thing as a solo artist too. So it just made sense for me to, try it altogether new. Try somewhere new where I wasn't known, and could basically, try and get that out there by myself.
That's a good approach.
See what would happen, yeah.
Yeah, for real. How about musical, I guess, influence? Who would you say was your biggest influence in doing what you do?
Man, I have to say somebody like Bob Marley, a huge impact on me musically, lyrically. He's just an amazing musician. He's iconic in so many ways, and I know that he touched my life from a young age. My mom constantly played his music.
Of course.
Not just his music, but reggae music. Whether it's Dennis Brown, whether it's Bob Marley, whether it's Toots and Maytals, whether it's whoever. It was just like reggae music playing a big part,